Yes, you're very welcome along to United Park this Saturday afternoon for another crucial League of Ireland First Division game. This time it's Drogheda United entertaining Wexford, and of course we've said it so many times this season, but a really important game for Drogheda, and one that they really have to win. We've said that on a few occasions this season about must-win games, but certainly this one is an absolutely must-win for Drogheda United. They find themselves 2 points behind Bray Wanderers with just 2 games to go, this one and the game on Tuesday night against Cabinteely. Of course, Bray are also in action this afternoon. We'll keep you right up to date with that one. They are playing this afternoon against Galway United, of course, the team that Drogheda won against during the week. A really important win, and one that I must say I was slightly surprised by, given the result here a few weeks ago against Athlone. And I know Tim Clancy and his team were very down after that one, but they did have that little week off with the COVID scare, so maybe that was just something that allowed them to regroup a little bit and come back a little bit stronger. But a great win against Galway United during the week, and it sees Drogheda cut the gap to just 2 points on Bray Wanderers. So a win here today for Drogheda, and if Bray rather drop any points, well, it'd be a really exciting final day of the season. But they really must win here today, Drogheda, to have any chance of going up automatically. You would imagine Bray would have enough for Galway United, but Galway then as well need to win their final 2 games to force themselves potentially into the playoffs. It's a bit of a long shot for the Westerners, but they could still sneak in there if they were to win games, and they might just make it into that top 5 position. So both sides coming out onto the pitch here, as you can see, and Drogheda in their change kit again. We've seen them in their away kit at home a few times this season, and they're in it again today, the red and black, and a very fetching kit it is, as we've said a few times during the season. They had it as their home kit last year, that red and black colour, albeit a different design and a different manufacturer, but they're in their red and black again today. And Wexford, well, you wouldn't miss them in their very bright pink jerseys here this evening, and something that Mick Wallace said many years ago when the club was first in the league as Wexford Youths, that they wanted to brighten the league up with their strip. They've certainly done that, and they're here today in their pink jersey and shorts and white socks, and Drogheda, as I said, all in their black jerseys, black shorts and red and black hooped socks. So the referee making his way onto the pitch. Referee today is incidentally Owen O'Shea. Just on the team news, well, Drogheda have named an unchanged 11 from the side that had that win over in Eamon Deasy Park during the week. So it's David Odumosu in goal, back 4 with James Brown, Conor Kane, Derek Prendergast and Hughie Douglas. It's Jake Hyland, Luke Heaney and Mark Hughes in midfield, and Brandon Birmingham, Mark Doyle and Chrissy Lyons the front 3. That's how we think they line up anyway. Drogheda usually favouring the 4-3-3, but they do tend to tinker with it a little bit from time to time in terms of formation switches during a game. Wexford, for their part, well, they make 2 changes from the defeat against Cove a little while ago. 4-0 defeat for them in their last game against Cove Ramblers. They make 2 changes to that side. It's Jack Doherty and Kieran Murphy who come in for the suspended Carl Manahan, and Patrick O'Sullivan who drops to the bench. So the Wexford side is Tom Murphy, Dan Tobin, James Carroll, Charlie Smith, Conor Crowley, Jay Nwanze, Jack Doherty, Azif Youssef, Kieran Murphy, Carl Fitzsimons and Kevin McAvoy. A couple of former Drogheda players in that Wexford 11, James Carroll and Carl Fitzsimons. James Carroll, former Drogheda under-17 player, played in the Cup for the Drogs in 2018 and also played incidentally for Dundalk in the Cup against Cove last August, while Carl Fitzsimons, 3 goals to his name this season. He's a former Drogheda and Dundalk under-19 player, so a couple of players very familiar with United Park in the opposition lineup this afternoon. A good evening for football, a good afternoon for football even. It's quite still and calm here, a little bit of a breeze, but no rain to speak of just yet. A little bit of a chill in the air as you would expect for this time of the year, but certainly no conditions that are going to put undue stress on the players. And we're just about to get ready here. David Sheehan with you for LMFM this afternoon. A crucial 90 minutes ahead for Tim Clancy and his side, as Chris Lyons about to get us underway here at United Park. And as I said, we will keep an eye on that game between Bray Wanderers and Galway at the Carlisle grounds as well, which will have a really significant impact on the top of the table, as will this result here. So Chris Lyons just waiting for the word from referee Owen O'Shea. He's assisted today incidentally by Alan Lynch and Alan Sherlock, and there goes the first whistle of the match, and Drogheda straight away in possession with Conor Kane. Knocks one down the line towards Chrissy Lyons, but no joy for Lyons to get onto that one. Conor Kane, of course, who scored his first goal for the club in his 106th appearance at Eamon Deasy Park during the week, and what a goal it was. And even more unusually from the fact that he scored it all was the fact that it was with his right foot, curled one into the far corner with his swinger, but it was a pretty good effort. I think anyone would be proud to stick that one in with their good foot, never mind their bad one. So Conor Kane finally off the mark in the goal scoring front for Drogheda, but what a servant he's been for them down the last few years. 106 appearances for them and his 107th tonight. Here he is in possession again. Derek Prendergast back in the starting lineup. He was back during the week against Galway. Missed that game here a few weeks ago against Athlone, which was a hammer blow to Drogheda United's automatic promotion chances. That 2-0 defeat. Prendergast missing for that one, and it was a game that Tim Clancy really rued that defeat afterwards and mentioned that Prendergast's leadership was a big miss for them. But he's back in the starting 11 tonight, as he was during the week, so a big man to have back for Drogheda United, the former Shelbourne man, and of course has been with Drogheda in the past. His second stint here at United Park. A throw in to Wexford over on that far side of the field, and it's knocked into the box. It's come across here towards Charlie Smith. Takes on James Brown. He's gotten by Brown very easy. Squares it back to the edge of the penalty, onto the penalty spot. Well, what a chance that was for Carl Fitzsimons, and really worryingly had all the space in the world, and he was standing on the penalty spot, and Drogheda just managed to get a block at it and scramble it away. But that was a great chance for Wexford with just a minute and a half gone, and again it was good play from Charlie Smith, getting by James Brown quite easily, it must be said, but squaring it back, and it was a great opportunity for Carl Fitzsimons, as I said, a former Drogheda under-19 player, and he'll be disgusted with himself that he didn't put that one away. He was closed down in the end, but the amount of space he had when he got the ball in the first place was really worrying from a Drogheda defensive point of view. Have anyone allowed that amount of space in your penalty area is certainly not ideal, but they live to tell the tale on that one, Drogheda. They've gotten away with it, and James Brown has the throw in, flicked on by Brandon Birmingham, who's sporting a very close haircut today. He's gotten the all over blade 2 in the barbers during the week. Obviously reckons he mightn't get in for another haircut in the near future, so taking no chances. Now here's James Brown down this Drogheda right, crossing the halfway line, looking for a bit of help. Has it in the shape of Birmingham, hugging this right hand touchline, looking to go at that Wexford defence, taking on Conor Crowley. Gets still going, James Brown has it now, cuts it back, and it's over the bar. And it was Chris Lyons, and a great chance for Lyons. And the Wexford player, Aziz Youssef, not happy with his defenders at all there. He's really letting them know that was a great opportunity. Good play from Brandon Birmingham down the right. James Brown gets the cut back, and Chris Lyons just scooped it over the bar. He was falling backwards as he hit it, and he just couldn't keep it down, but that was a great opportunity. So 2 opportunities, one at either side of the ground, and with just 3.5 minutes gone here, a really open start to this one. Really one clear-cut opportunity for each side, and Wexford coming away with it again. Of course, sitting rock bottom of the table, Wexford on 5 points. They had that points deduction recently. It amounted to 4 points of a deduction after they had 4 results changed to 3-0 defeats. They had won one of those games and drawn one of them. They'd lost the other 2, so a net 4-point deduction for them there. But that's a good bit of play from Chrissy Lyons. A nice little layoff, and there's going to be a card here straight away, I think, for one of the Wexford players. It's just trying to see which one of the Drogheda players it's down. It's Luke Heaney that's down, and a yellow card shown by the referee to Jay Nwanze, I think it is. Just a little bit late with his challenge, and into the book he goes. The first booking of the game. So Drogheda with a free kick and an opportunity to put more pressure on Tom Murphy's goal. So just under 5 minutes gone here. The referee just putting his notebook back in his pocket, and it's going to be Jake Hyland to take the free kick. And everyone, bar 2 Drogheda players in or on the edge of the box, is played towards Hughie Douglas. And again, we've seen that so many times this season, that free kick, diagonal ball, and they try to pick out Douglas at the back post. Just a little bit overhit that time from Jake Hyland over the big ginger-haired defender's head. And out for a goal kick to Wexford. Just over 5 minutes gone, 0-0, but one opportunity apiece for the sides. Carl Fitzsimons with a really great opportunity was just blocked by one of the Drogheda defenders, and then Chris Lyons a couple of minutes ago spooning it over from close range. So even Steven so far, and Wexford get the game underway again. Long kick, it's well won in the air by Prendergast, and it's knocked through, but James Brown shepherds it back towards David Odumosu. He's been in really good form for Drogheda this season, Odamosu, and really nailed down that number 1 spot. Bowls it out to Conor Kane, plays it back inside to Derek Prendergast. Mark Hughes drops deep looking for possession on the edge of his own box. Prendergast decides to go to Hughie Douglas. Now it comes to Hughes inside his own box. Now he's just moved outside it. Jake Hyland comes very deep looking for the ball, that he's played it to his left to Prendergast, back in to Mark Hughes, playing in the, at the moment anyway, standing in a kind of a left-sided centre half position. He plays it back across the Highland. Drogheda really going nowhere here. They're just trying to draw Wexford out, I would suggest. And Wexford aren't taking the bait, and now Prendergast knocks a long diagonal ball down the line towards Conor Kane, who'd push forward, but it's come back to Mark Doyle, Drogheda's top scorer this season. Of course, great run from Doyle, just tried to slip it through to Chris Lyons, but too many pink jerseys around him, and it's been cleared. James Brown intercepts it, but it's knocked back, and it's a free kick there. Well, the referee plays advantage. Jack Doherty was taken out of it by Brandon Birmingham. Referee says play on. It's back with Charlie Smith. Now here's Kieran Murphy into the starting lineup tonight, having not started the last game, and the referee's gone back now to have a look at Jack Doherty, who was just collided with Brandon Birmingham. It wasn't a malicious tackle or anything, but he may have just landed awkwardly. With just about 7 minutes gone now at United Park, 0-0 in this one, and it's still 0-0 incidentally between Bray Wanderers and Galway United, and the longer that one stays scoreless, the happier Drogheda United will be. If Drogheda get the win here today, the goal difference is very tight, but if they could get the win and if Bray draw, then Drogheda will go top on goal difference, and then they have to visit Cabinteely on Tuesday night, whilst Bray Wanderers travel to play Athlone Town. So you would imagine it's going to go right down to the wire unless something unforeseen happens. But we've seen plenty of twists and turns in this League of Ireland First Division campaign. The truncated season, of course, only 18 games. We've seen games here that Drogheda United have lost that they really would have been expected to win, none more so than that most recent game against Athlone Town. And of course that game against Cove as well, where they missed a penalty and then got caught in the second half. There's a couple of games that Tim Clancy will have nightmares about, and I'm sure has had sleepless nights over. Would have made all the difference, but I suppose you could say every team in the division has found that to be a problem this season, not getting wins against teams that they should be beating if you looked at the table. But it's just how unpredictable this division has been. A long ball down the line there. It was James Carroll, the former Drogheda player, just puts it straight into touch, and it's going to be a throw in taken by Conor Kane, knocked back in, and it's headed back in by Jake Hyland, just in around the middle third of the pitch over on that far side in front of the dugout. Now here comes Mark Doyle, manages to get away, well, almost got away from Carl Fitzsimons, but wasn't able to ultimately escape a possession. And now Wexford have it again. It's crossed in. Hughie Douglas looked like he got a call from his keeper, but he wasn't taking any chances there. Douglas puts it out for a throw in over on the far side of the field, and it's going to be taken by Dan Tobin, looking for a bit of support. Aziz Youssef comes short for him, gets it, number 7, and he's got Conor Kane stuck to him like a limpet, and it's gone out for a throw in over on the far side of the field. 10 minutes gone almost here at United Park. No goals between Drogheda United and today's visitors Wexford. One chance apiece for the sides here. It's crossed in again. It's headed clear well by Derek Prendergast. Just came at him with a lot of force, but he got his head to it well. And now Chris Lyons, for the umpteenth time this season, has won a free kick. And it's Conor Crowley who puts his hands out to say, "What did I do, referee?" But he did bundle over Lyons, and the postman hit the deck there. And now here's David Odamosu, Hughie Douglas. James Brown comes short down the near flank looking for Mark Hughes again, drops deeper possession, and Drogheda playing very patiently across the back. They really are looking to try and pull Wexford out of their shape a little bit and get in behind them, but the long ball through, well, it was a bit of a panicked clearance there from Dan Tobin. He did get a call from Tom Murphy as goalkeeper, but he swiped it back over his shoulder and out for a throw in, so it's a bit of a result for Drogheda. They can keep the pressure on. Jake Hyland has it inside towards Luke Heaney, but it was a loose enough pass and it's intercepted well by Conor Crowley, and it's knocked down the line again, and to nobody in particular, and it's gone out for a goal kick, I think, to Drogheda. Didn't quite manage. In fact, it is a throw in. Wasn't quite sure if it went out this side or the far side of the flag, but it's going to be a throw in, and it's Conor Kane again to take it. He's got Derek Prendergast beside him, but he's looking down the line again towards Mark Doyle. goes over Doyle's head, comes to Chris Lyons. He's got Jay and Wanze for company, and again he just needs to be a little bit careful in Wanze with his tackling. He's on a yellow card, remember, and he was stuck to Lyons there, and it's gone out for throw in, which Wexford take. And it's across here with Kevin McAvoy. Strides out of defence, lays it off to number 19 Charlie Smith, plays it back to his goalkeeper. And again Wexford look to start from the back. It's played into midfield, again into Fitzsimons, gets away well there from Jake Hyland, slips it inside to Kieran Murphy. He's got a runner on the near side here, and that's Charlie Smith, the man who set up that chance early in the game. He's got James Brown to get by again. He gets the cross in. Hughie Douglas thought about booting it down the field, but resisted that urge, played it to James Brown, but now he's given it away, and it's back into Youssef again. This time Douglas gets across and puts his toe to it and gets it out for a throw in to Wexford down in the left hand corner of the pitch. Just over 11 and a half minutes gone at United Park, no goals. Wexford on the attack, but it's towed away there from Mark Hughes, but it's come back to Kieran McAvoy, back again to Jack Doherty, who's a man that will definitely add a little bit of attacking flair to the side, back in the starting lineup tonight. Now here's Chris Lyons, and he's played it behind, just behind Heaney there. Ball was on, but he just got his wires crossed a little bit, and Heaney was unable to change direction quick enough to get onto it. It rolled all the way through to Tom Murphy. Now it's back at the other end with Derek Prendergast. Dinks one in to midfield. A lovely little chest down there from Heaney to Mark Doyle. He just miscontrols it a little bit, and it's taken away from him by Fitzsimons. Frantic spell of play here. Neither side able to hold on to possession for any protracted period of time. But here's James Brown. Looks down the line, and he completely miscues his attempted pass. Hits the floodlight pylon, and it's gone out for a throw in to Wexford. It will be taken here by Charlie Smith. And Wexford issuing a statement after that decision by the FAI. They really weren't happy with the manner in which that decision was made and the punishment that was meted out, having those 4 results turned over into 3-0 defeats. As I said, they had lost 2 of those games already anyway, and they had drawn 1 and won 1, so they really felt like they had done nothing wrong and that they had followed all the procedures, and essentially that the mistake lay elsewhere. So it's hard to not have a little bit of sympathy for them, Wexford, but that's the way it is, and I believe they are going to appeal that decision. But as it stands, they lose those 4 points, and they are rock bottom of the table on 5 points. They would have been bottom even without that points deduction, but they'll certainly feel hard done by. Meanwhile, here's Mark Doyle. Chris Lyons makes a run. It's just overhit. The chance was there if Lyons had just been able to get on the end of that pass, but it was just a little bit overhit from Doyle. And once again, Wexford knocking a ball aimlessly down the field from Tom Murphy. He was trying to get Aziz Youssef in, but really far too much on it, and I think any little bit of a breeze that is blowing is behind Wexford in that first half, so that wouldn't have helped. But we have 14 minutes gone, and it's 0-0 here at United Park, and it's 0-0 also at the Carlisle grounds, where Bray Wanderers will be looking to keep their promotion push on track, automatic promotion push such that it is, and of course Drogheda will be hoping that they slip up against Galway. Here's James Brown now getting in down the right hand side, gets his cross in. It's well turned away there by Kieran Crowley. In fact, it was James Carroll that got to it. It was a good ball in, but Chris Lyons just wasn't able to get across in front of the defender, and James Carroll dealt with it. And now it's Wexford again, the goal kick coming out with it. Knocked long down the line, but again Hughie Douglas comes across and intercepts it well, but it's knocked straight back in. Douglas is out of position, and Jack Doherty was looking to take advantage of that by playing it into Youssef, but it was just a little bit off target, and Conor Kane came around well on the cover to clear. Here's Youssef again. Derek Prendergast trying to get in through the back of him, manages to hold him off Youssef, and it's played again in for Carl Fitzsimons. But it's come back to Luke Heaney now, and Drogheda come away with it again. Just crossing the halfway line almost now was Conor Kane. Well, he didn't quite make it there, but the referee didn't see a free kick, and then just hacked rather aimlessly forward, and it's come all the way through once again to Murphy. And Wexford again just playing it around the back. It's back with Murphy again. He's going to look long. fairly direct stuff from Wexford so far in this first half. Kieran Murphy not able to win that one. It's well dealt with by Hughie Douglas. And it's gone out for a throw in to Wexford over on that far side of the field. 0-0 between Drogheda United and Wexford with just over the quarter hour gone. At quite a dull United Park, but no rain, as I said. A little bit of wind, but nothing too major. Now here's Brandon Birmingham. Good tackle there from Conor Kane. Brandon Birmingham comes away with it. Now Luke Heaney is away down the left-hand channel. He's got Chris Lyons for support in the middle. Heaney gets his cross in. It's gone beyond Lyons, but James Brown is coming up on the right-hand side. He gets his cross back in. Well, it was blocked by number 19 again there. Charlie Smith back covering. But that was a nice little bit of play from Drogheda. And Heaney getting free down the left. And he's a player that Tim Clancy has a lot of time for Luke Heaney, and he was out injured for quite a while. But as soon as he got back fit, he was straight back into the starting 11 pretty much. Now Jake Hyland is going to take the corner with his left foot. And everybody forward apart from the two full-backs for Drogheda United. In swinger to the back post. Mark Hughes comes in, and it's a swiped clearance attempt there from James Carroll, and it comes off his boot and pops up into the hands, the grateful hands at that, of Tom Murphy. So again, Wexford surviving that little spell of pressure. So still 0-0 here. 0-0 also still at the Carlisle grounds. A long kick once again from Murphy, not the first one of those we've seen and not the last, and certainly something he may need to work on, because that's another one that's gone straight the full length of the pitch and out for a goal kick to Drogheda United. Wexford really need to be a little bit more clever with their possession when they do get it. They've just kicked away a lot of balls aimlessly like that. Fair enough if you want to play a direct game, but putting the ball straight out of play at the other end isn't really going to do them any good. Adamosu takes his kick out up towards Chris Lyons. Couldn't quite get to it, but Mark Doyle has stolen it away, and he's in. Doyle down the left hand side. That's a good challenge. It may well be well, it's gone out for a corner. I thought it might have come off Doyle last. It was good defending there from Kieran McAvoy. Doyle just nicked it away from Nwanze and was bearing down on goal. It would have been a tricky enough shot to get away from the angle he was coming in from that left hand side. And he was looking at his options, but it was good defending from Kevin McAvoy, and it's going to be a corner for Drogheda again, and it's going to be taken again by Highland over on the far side of the field. Dropping in around the penalty spot, Douglas knocks it forward. It's a goal, and it's in there. It's Derek Prendergast. Derek Prendergast with the goal. 18 and a half minutes gone. It was Hughie Douglas, not for the first time this season, getting his head on the initial ball. Recall a game a few weeks ago where he knocked down a free kick into the path of I think it was Mark Doyle as well on that occasion, or Mark Doyle on that occasion I should say, where he finished it off. And again, Douglas getting his head to a corner, knocking it down, and Prendergast heading it home from close range. 1-0 to Drogheda United, and Derek Prendergast back in side for the last couple of matches. Missed that game, as I said a little bit earlier on, against Athlone, and that was a game that he was really missed in badly. And Tim Clancy mentioned as much at the end of the game, but he's back, and what a time to pop up with your first goal of the season. Derek Prendergast on 18 and a half minutes, giving Drogheda United the lead here at United Park. 1-0 to the home side, and they'll be looking to build on that between now and the half-time break, but just need to keep their concentration levels up and hold on to this lead for the next 5 minutes or so. Now here's Yusuf again, and he's been fouled this time by Mark Hughes. And a free kick to Wexford, and they're sending a few players forward. Manager Brian O'Sullivan with his hands in his pockets down in front of the dugout. Waterford native, his second season in charge at Ferry Carrick Park. And it's going to be Jack Doherty, I think, to take the free kick, left-footed. Plenty of men forward here in pink shirts, and it's knocked in towards the far post, and it was just shepherded out by Hughie Douglas. It was a good ball in, whipped in fairly low. It just bounced on the edge of the 6-yard box on its way out, so Drogheda survived that one. Have a good recent record, Drogheda, against Wexford. Won all 4 games against the South East side last season, including a 6-0 win here in August 2018, a hat-trick from Chris Lyons, and the other games last season, Wexford won, Drogheda 2, and then Drogheda 2-1 winners earlier that season as well, back in March. The last game that Wexford took anything from against Drogheda was a 0-0 draw back in 2018, so not a good record for Wexford against Drogheda, and it's continuing that vein today. 1-0 to the home side, 21 minutes gone. Now Chris Lyons is away, the flag stays down, hands went up, but the important one of the linesmen didn't. It's crossed. Well, Lyons looked like he was going to cross it, he's still going, and he squared it back to Mark Doyle, was right on the edge of the box, but for some reason Chris Lyons picked out Dan Tobin, and those pink jerseys, it's hard to know how he didn't see Mark Doyle rather back on the edge of the box. But again, a good little bit of play from Drogheda, and it's gone out for a goal kick to Wexford. Still 0-0 between Bray and Galway, and as it stands now, of course we've got a long way to go, but as it stands at the moment, Drogheda would be on 36 points, as would Bray, but Drogheda's superior goal difference, and I say superior, it's barely superior, they'd be plus 19, whereas Bray would be plus 17, so very little to choose between them. A little bit early for that kind of talk though, as Derek Prendergast, the goal scorer, gets his head on that one back towards Mark Doyle, and then unceremoniously booted down the line by Nwanze. He looks like a man that's not too happy with the way things are going. He picked up that yellow card early on, and he's just seems a little bit rattled, and that's a late challenge there on Mark Hughes, and it's Jack Doherty, I think, who's made the foul. He's on the ground. Referee, is he going to have a word with him? I think he's happy to just draw attention to the foul. He's not going to show him a card. In fact, he's calling both players over now. He may well dip into his pocket, but I think he's just going to have a quick word with them and tell them to settle it down a bit. Owen O'Shea, referee, and that's what he's done. A little slap across the wrist for both players. Don't do that again. I'll give it 5 minutes before one of them's in the book. It's going to be Derek Prendergast to take the free kick. And it's a good run being made by Conor Kane in off the left wing, but just wasn't quite hit exactly where he wanted it, and it's been half cleared from Wexford. Now they do get it up to the halfway line, whereas James Brown heads it straight back in, midway inside the Wexford half, but they've come away with it. Again, they've given it away straight away, Wexford. They're just not holding on to possession at all. Drogheda not doing too great in that department either. James Brown giving it away quite easily, and now here's Charlie Smith on the edge of the box. He's been forced out wide there, and he was well shepherded away by Derek Prendergast, and it's going to be a throw in, I think, to Drogheda. That was good defending there from Drogheda, but again, James Brown just giving the ball away in a dangerous area of the field. Both sides at times in the game have struggled to maintain possession for any period of time. As I said, Wexford going long quite a bit, but tending to overhit a lot of those long passes, and they've just harmlessly rolled out for goal kicks to Drogheda. Now here's the throw in. Charlie Smith, and it's played across towards James Carroll. Calls for somebody to come short from him. He plays it to his right to Nwanze, and it's well covered there by Mark Doyle. Good defending, and it's going to be a throw in which Dan Tobin will take, the captain. Almost 25 minutes gone. Drogheda United leading here by a goal. And if you've just joined us, Derek Prendergast's close range header in the 19th minute, giving them the lead. His first goal of the season, and what a valuable one it could prove to be in the final analysis, with just a game and a little over a half left at this stage of the season. And Chris Lyons has snatched it back from... That's a really great opportunity for Lyons. It was Conor Crowley who got caught in possession. Chris Lyons was through one-on-one, and he drags it wide. In fairness, he was well within his rights to take the shot on, but what a great opportunity that was, and Conor Crowley will be breathing a massive sigh of relief there, because he was left on his backside, ball taken off his toe. Lyons was straight through on the keeper, and he just dragged it left-footed across the keeper, but Unfortunately for him, just wide of the far post from Lyons' perspective. So a really good opportunity for Drogheda, goes a begging. And we've seen that happen in the past this season where chances haven't been taken and it's come back to haunt them. They'll be hoping it won't be the case today. Here's Brandon Birmingham chasing down. Can he get to it before it goes out? He can. Cuts it back. And Luke Heaney had a chance, just mishit it. And it's up, offside flag goes up. Chris Lyons was just coming back in. And the chance again for Heaney. He just swung at it with his right foot. Miscued it. It hit his left and ended up rolling towards Chris Lyons, who was in an offside position. So again, another good chance for Drogheda. Goes astray. And I can tell you it's still 0-0 between Bray and Galway United. 26 minutes gone at United Park. Drogheda United leading by a goal to nil. You're listening to David Sheehan on LMFM this Saturday afternoon. Long ball from James Brown down the near touchline. Well headed clear. Again there by James Carroll and knocked back in down the line by James Brown, but it's gone out for a throw in again to Wexford, and it's going to be taken to Charlie Smith. And Drogheda just having a little spell of pressure, but just haven't been able to find that second goal just yet. And it's a nice bit of play there from Jack Doherty in his second spell at the club. His only goal this season was against Athlone Town. That was a 3-1 win against Athlone, which was one of those games that was subsequently overturned. Nice little bit of play from Heaney. Tries to find Mark Doyle down that left-hand flank, but just wasn't able to find the top scorer this season. Doyle has been relatively quiet in this first half. Hasn't had too many opportunities to get involved. And it's, well, a high boot there from Kieran Murphy, but Hughie Douglas, or Derek Prendergast rather, brushes that one off. He wasn't too worried about it. And it's knocked down the line again. It's well intercepted once again there by Charlie Smith. And here's Conor Crowley, the man who had that lucky escape a few minutes ago when he was caught in possession. Chris Lyons really should have made it 2-0, but unfortunately just couldn't find the net. Now here's Brandon Birmingham again. Plays it inside. It's a good play from Heaney. And here's Mark Hughes now bearing down on the penalty area. It's played across to Doyle inside the box, looking to stand up his man and get the shot away. Mark Doyle has to play it back in the end to Mark Hughes on the edge of the box. And now it's Jake Hyland and Hughes just almost getting in each other's way there, but now it's Hyland over on the left-hand touchline. Wexford have forced him wide. Conor Kane has it now, but he's conceded the throw-in, wasn't able to keep it in play. Just for a moment there it looked like there might be something on for Drogheda, but they just couldn't quite pick their way through that Wexford defence. So they still go in search of a second goal. They lead by a goal to nil, remember. Derek Prendergast, just to remind you again, with the goal in the 19th minute. Corner from Jake Hyland. It was knocked down into Prendergast's path by Hughie Douglas, and the big defender headed home from close range. So good assist work from one centre half, setting up the other. Now here's Youssef. He's got James Brown beside him. He's a strong presence, Youssef, and he goes down in the end, and James Brown is looking pretty exasperated by that decision. He just couldn't quite get around Youssef, and he was trying his best to get to the ball, but he's a really strong presence, as he's Youssef. And Brown, a little frustrated as the referee gave the free kick. I think it was just for persistent niggling rather than any one obvious foul. But we've got a free kick for Wexford with just about a half an hour gone here at United Park. Left hand side, almost halfway between the centre of the pitch and the near touchline, and about 10 yards outside the box. And it's going to be Conor Crowley to take it. His heart rate may have come down a little bit since that goal chance for Drogheda a few moments ago. Now, is he going to have a crack here, or is he going to whip it in? Again, I say that wind that's blowing here at United Park, swirling around, could make things difficult for the Drogheda defence. Crowley comes up. He curls it towards the back post, and well, there were two pink jerseys there, and neither of them made a connection. I think it was James Carroll was the man who got up, and he couldn't get ahead in it, and he almost put off the man behind him. And that's a real, well, I wouldn't say a clear-cut opportunity, but a half chance certainly. Just couldn't quite climb enough there, James Carroll, against his former side to head home. So it's a little bit of a warning sign there for Drogheda. They can't be giving away those sort of free kicks from the edge of the box, and potentially coughing up chances, but they survived that one. Now here's Yusuf again. This time he can't control it, and Hughie Douglas gets the head to it, and well, it looked like a handball from Jake Hyland, but the referee decides that it came at him a bit too quickly and it wasn't intentional. And we've seen so many handball decisions across the water due to VAR. We don't have that here in the League of Ireland, which is maybe a blessing. Hyland there, referee deciding didn't do anything wrong. Now here come Wexford again, knocked down the line towards Yusuf, took it down but then just lost his footing, and Conor Kane was able to come in and tidy it up. James Brown now is full back on the opposite side, and again Mark Hughes is right back in between his two centre halves, trying to get something going. Derek Prendergast knocks it back to David Odumosu in his bright green shirt, stark contrast to the red and black number that Drogheda are wearing today. Here's Mark Hughes again, plays it across to Jake Hyland. So we've two midfielders dropping back into the defensive positions, and then we've got Conor Kane charging down the left-hand channel. We've seen that quite a bit this season from Drogheda, the two fullbacks playing as auxiliary attackers really. And here's Mark Hughes again, struggling to keep this one in, but he gets there, plays it back into Brandon Birmingham, and James Brown is away. Speaking of attacking fullbacks, he's down the right-hand side. Can he get to it before the byline? He can, he cuts it back. Chris Lyons takes it, knocks it back to Brown, but again Brown, he'd run off the pitch trying to keep that ball in play, and as he came back on and the ball came to him, the flag went up. And again it's going to be a free kick to Wexford with 32 minutes gone. 1-0 to Drogheda at United Park, 0-0 between Bray and Galway United at the Carlisle grounds. That's the other game that's on this afternoon, and very, very important in terms of that automatic promotion spot. Hughie Douglas throws himself at it again, not for the first time this year. Ball goes out for a throw in to Wexford. It's going to be taken once again by Charlie Smith. Came through the under-17s, under-19s at UCD, so you can be sure he's technically accomplished. And here's another man that certainly is technically accomplished. That's Jack Doherty. Second spell at Wexford, had previously been with Longford Town. Back to Tom Murphy in the Wexford goal, and again he knocks the ball over towards Nwanze, and well, he couldn't keep it in. It's going to be a throw in to Drogheda United. 33 minutes gone at United Park. Drogheda United 1, Wexford 0. Derek Prendergast's goal in the 19th minute, giving the home side a very, very valuable advantage. Now here's Luke Heaney, knocks it back towards Conor Kane. He dinks the little ball in towards Mark Doyle. He's got Nwanze behind him, and Crowley comes in and gets it clear. And Derek Prendergast came across for that one. He was just hooshed out of the way, but he manages to get it back, and James Brown then knocks it back towards Conor Kane over on the far side of the field, but Kane can't keep it in. See Kevin Doherty over there. He's signed up for Conan Byrne's ring around. You may have seen that on social media during the week, something that was, I suppose, first pioneered by David Brady, ringing people who maybe are living by themselves during lockdown, and Conan Byrne put something together during the week, and I think he already has over 100 players, former players and managers, and I think Kevin Doherty is one of those, so fair play to him. It's a great initiative and something that has really taken off during these last difficult 6 months or so. Certainly a positive to come out of this whole situation we find ourselves in. The situation Drogheda find themselves in is they lead by a goal to 0, 35 minutes gone at United Park. Gone into a little bit of a lull the game just in the last 5 minutes or so. Neither side able to really string any period of possession or domination together, but there's a long ball through the middle, and it's broken back off Kevin McAvoy towards Luke Heaney, but Crowley does well there, and they get it clear towards Jack Doherty. Number 10 on his back, socks down around his ankles, and a lovely ball on the ground there. He slipped, lost his footing, but still managed to find the pass. Doherty is a tricky little customer, and it's in towards Luke Heaney again. A big shout for a late tackle on James Brown. He has stayed down right in front of us here and below us in the gantry. James Brown, he's hopped up now. It's in towards Chris Lyons, and again here comes Brown again, back in possession. It's back out towards Luke Heaney. He's got a bit of help from Jake Hyland, his captain, infield. Hyland gets the call from Derek Prendergast. A bit of urgency from Prendergast there. Come on, he said, to Jake to make the pass to Jake Hyland, and here's Mark Hughes trying to tiptoe his way through the centre circle there. He had 3 players around him and none of them seemed too sure whether they wanted to tackle him or not, but in the end he's found Mark Doyle. Now Doherty intercepts it again. Touch of the Jack Grealish is about Jack Doherty with his socks down below his calves. He's a sturdy little figure. Now here's Crowley, plays it across towards Kevin McAvoy. Now here's Charlie Smith again. He's got Brandon Birmingham for company. They have to play it back again to McAvoy. Played in again. It's a good play from Kieran Murphy and Charlie Smith again. He's been busy in this first half down the left hand side. Created that chance right at the beginning of the game for Wexford. And here's Doherty again. Chris Lyons just wasn't able to get onto that one, and while Doherty's attempted pass down the line to Charlie Smith is overhit and it's gone out of play. And now the referee is showing a yellow card and he's pointing over to the near side of the field here in front of us, which is where that tackle was made on James Brown. So it's number 28, Kieran Murphy, who gets the booking with 36 minutes gone. So James Brown, he was down on the ground a few moments ago, but he was able to get on up after that foul. And Drogheda United will have the goal kick, David Odumosu. The wind just getting up a bit here at United Park. Does seem to be blowing into the faces of the Drogheda players, into the face of David Odumosu, from what we can tell up here in the gantry. We are a little bit higher, of course, than everybody else. Long kick from Odumosu, well headed back there by James Carroll, and it's Derek Prendergast under a little bit of pressure from Yusuf, and he's been forced to stick it into the stand where the away supporters would be, were any supporters allowed in. Of course, we're now back in a situation where no fans are allowed into the ground. We had that little respite period where Drogheda were allowed to let about 70 or so fans in, but we're back to a lockdown situation with no supporters allowed in. So I suppose we should again express our gratitude as media that we're allowed to be here to watch these games and bring them to Drogheda supporters, and indeed Wexford supporters, near and far, home and abroad. And here's Brandon Birmingham trying to win this battle of possession, and he's done that with Smith, but he just can't keep it in, Birmingham. It's gone out for a throw into Wexford, and it's Crowley. Back to Smith. Back to McAvoy, and he played this into Crowley again. He's been stitching the play together nicely, Conor Crowley. Had that little bit of a mishap where he almost cost Wexford a second goal, and Chris Lyons took it off his foot, but by and large he's had a decent first half. And there's the goal scorer, Derek Prendergast, just skimmed off his head, and Hughie Douglas had to bail him out. And then Conor Kane's attempt at clearance comes off Dan Tobin, and it's gone out for a throw in to Drogheda United as we tick towards half time here. 39 minutes gone, almost at United Park. And that's certainly a satisfactory position for Drogheda to be in at the moment, coupled with the fact that it's still 0-0 down at the Carlisle grounds. And Galway United, who of course came a cropper during the week against Drogheda, but they're putting in a decent performance so far down in the Wicklow town. But a long way to go in both of these games, of course. And then a crucial final day on Tuesday. Now Drogheda United, well, again another bit of slack defending from Wexford. There's a hack clearance from James Carroll. It found its way across here to Charlie Smith. And now here's McAvoy. Kevin McAvoy plays it up towards Kieran Murphy. Nice little turn from Murphy, plays it into Yusuf. He's got Hughie Douglas for company, and he tries to play it over to that far side towards Dan Tobin, but it was a loose pass and it was intercepted by Conor Kane. Now Jake Hyland plays Mark Doyle in over on that left hand side, left touchline. He's got Conor Kane underlapping. Kane gets there, gets the cross in, as across the face of the goal. Chris Lyons couldn't get to it, neither could Brandon Birmingham. And it's gone out for a throw in to Wexford down in this right hand corner. And again, another good opportunity for Drogheda. That's something that's been a real thorn in their side this season. They get into great opportunity or get into great positions and just can't quite find that final pass. It's either pull behind somebody, it's overhit. I know it's something that Kevin Doherty has touched on after a few of the games when I spoke to him this season. They just find it quite frustrating that final ball just isn't quite up to scratch. And I mean, they scored 35 goals this season, Only UCD have a better goals scored record, but Drogheda would have another 6, 7, 8 goals this season if they could have just put away some of those half chances and find a more clinical final pass. But then probably plenty of teams in the division would say the same. Knocked long there from Jake Hyland, and it was Conor Kane again. He spent more of this first half in the Wexford half than his own. Himself and James Brown, as is their wont, attacking every chance they get. And it'd be very interesting to see the stats. I don't know if the Drogheda players have GPS on them, but I suspect they may do. But it'd be very interesting to see the mileage covered by Conor Kane and James Brown, because they're up and down those touchlines like trains every single match, and never injured either. Fit as fiddles, both of them. Now here's Jake Hyland in the centre of the pitch, plays it out towards the aforementioned James Brown, happily recovered from that knock, plays it back to Mark Hughes. He's got Mark Doyle with his hand up on the far side looking for the cross. It was Luke Heaney was going in for it. It was headed clear, but it's come back to James Brown, gets inside the box. There's a leg hung out there by Charlie Smith, and well, eventually the referee is given the free out. It was a harmless enough looking tackle from Brown, and it was Jack Doherty who hit the deck, and the referee is given a free kick. Doherty is suggesting that he was kicked at there, but the referee just gives the free kick and nothing more, but no action taken. Now here come Wexford again inside their own half. It's with Fitzsimons, and he's been dispossessed, but it's come all the way back to Crowley while the referee's given a free kick for a tackle on Dan Tobin over on the far side. Still 0-0 between Bray and Galway. We will let you know if that changes, of course. And 1-0 here to Drogheda United. I'm sure Bray will be getting told in the dressing room at half time, if they haven't already been told, what the score is here. And it's played along, and it's come up to Youssef again, knocked back towards Tobin, and Jake Hyland gets his head to it, and it's come up to Mark Doyle. He's got Nwanze beside him, and the referee, well, there was a shout for a free kick on the far side from the Drogheda bench, but wasn't given. And now the referee finally gives a free kick to Jack Doherty, and I think he may show a yellow here. Jake Hyland is asking him what about the other tackle, and it's going to be Luke Heaney who goes into the book. So a yellow card for Heaney. That's the third yellow card of the game. The first for a Drogheda player. Jay Nwanze and Kieran Murphy already finding their names in the referee's notebook for their indiscretions earlier in the half. And the referee taking action this time against Luke Heaney. Going to be a free kick, and Jack Doherty having a good old chat with the referee there. Just beyond the centre circle in the Drogheda United half of the pitch, slightly to the right of the dead centre of the field. And Doherty's going to look to play this in. All the bodies are gathered at the back post, and it's all the way through, and it's claimed easily by Adamosu. Commanding presence as ever, David Adamosu in the Drogheda goals, and he's bowled it out again to Conor Kane. He sets off on another one of those runs down that left hand side. He's had to turn back in, and he's got a bit of support from Jake Hyland behind him. Hyland plays it across towards Mark Hughes. James Brown pulls wide onto this near touchline, gets possession. He had a run being made by Chris Lyons, but he decided to hold on to it. Plays it back towards Mark Hughes. Nice little shimmy from Mark Hughes, loses his man. But now he's had to turn back and find support in the shape of Hughie Douglas. Douglas over to his left to Derek Prendergast. And now here's Jake Hyland again. Again, Conor Kane has made a galloping run down the side, and that could be a second yellow, potentially, for Nwanze. He tripped Mark Doyle as he turned, and I think the referee is going to let him go. Well, that's certainly one that could have been a second yellow. Paul was moving, the referee said he's going to go back, but I think the Drogheda bench certainly not happy with that one. Nwanze, I think he was just wrong-footed as opposed to actually taking a player out on purpose, but if it had been a situation where he hadn't been booked already, then you might have expected him to go into the book, but I'd say he's on his last warning. Now here's Brandon Birmingham. James Brown gets the cross in, and it was Lyons at the near post, almost diverted it into the path of Luke Heaney, but Wexford scrambled it away. Mark Hughes tries to win it back, and here's McAvoy, shifts it nicely onto his left boot, gets it clear, but Hughie Douglas knocks it back towards James Brown. He can't keep it in. And Douglas again comes across and gets in front of Youssef. We're just gone past the 45-minute mark. And we will have, I didn't actually see the fourth officials board going up, so I think we've only just got a minute. I think I heard the linesman in front of us saying there. So there haven't been too many stoppages in this first half. It's been played in a good spirit, the game, it must be said. Douglas comes across again, and well, he almost put that into the Gaelic grounds beside us here, taking no chances, and with that goes the half-time whistle at United Park. Drogheda United leading by 1-0. Not a huge amount to separate the sides really. Great chance inside the first minute and a half for Carl Fitzsimons for Wexford. He wasn't able to find a target. He was all on his own on the penalty spot and just saw a shot blocked by a couple of Drogheda defenders throwing themselves at it. A few minutes after that, Chris Lyons had a really good opportunity for Drogheda, wasn't able to find the net, and then
I always say I'll go anywhere provided it's forward, and this time we have to go on from here. They had a dream, and that dream has come true tonight.
It's great to be back. 3 points tonight, and then a win in Bray on Friday night, and then we'll be on top of the table, and they'll be chasing us.
Yeah, it's great to be back here at United Park again, just to see some live football.
You can't beat live football.
And I just can't wait for the game to start.
It's 29 weeks as a set up there.
Fantastic to see supporters back in United Park. We're obviously a bit limited in how many we can have here tonight, but just to have some of our loyal fans back enjoying the atmosphere and enjoying live football, which is
About time to be back.
Here we go to Super Drogs.
It's a great opportunity for the supporters, and I think it's great.
It's great to be back here in United Park and to the live football.
It's an indication of how dangerous Rovers can be when they play those little through balls between the Drogheda centre backs. Get it on target. There's no telling where this could go off the surface, and he's had a crack and it's straight at the keeper with a great strike. That's Coach Doyle. Darlington same place as the first one, back in the net. 3-2 to Drogheda United, and a huge sigh of relief greeted by everybody. First Division, a crucial game and a crucial 45 minutes coming up for Drogheda United. They lead by a 1-0 at half time. If you're just joining us, Derek Prendergast's header in the 19th minute from Hughie Douglas's knockdown from Jake Hyland's corner. So a 1-0 lead for Drogheda at half time. And all importantly, in the other game that's going on at the moment, that also features a team vying for automatic promotion. That's Bray Wanderers. They are 0-0 against Galway at half time. So if that were to stay as it is, and this game here were to stay going in Drogheda's favour, then Drogheda would go top on goal difference only, with one game left in the season on Tuesday night. So really dramatic 45 minutes coming up here at United Park, and also down at the Carlisle grounds in Bray. No changes that I can see on either side. We will let you know, of course, if any changes do take place. Referee Owen O'Shea about to get the second half underway, and it'll be Aziz Youssef to kick off for Wexford. And they, of course, have had a very difficult season, compounded by that points deduction for fielding an ineligible player in those 4 games earlier on this season. So they'll be looking to finish the season with a little bit of a flourish and just re-establish a little bit of pride. But it's been a tough season even without that deduction. They've really struggled, Wexford, but it's nearly all over for them now. The truncated season, of course, due to the situation we all find ourselves in, and we're underway in this second half. Straight away it's Jay Nwanze, who was perhaps a little bit lucky to get away without a second yellow in that first half. Late foul on Mark Doyle. There wasn't anything malicious in it, but you've seen bookings given for him, and he was already on a booking, so he survives. Now here's Chris Lyons, the man who had two really good opportunities in that first half, particularly the second one where he was one-on-one with Tom Murphy after a mistake by Conor Crowley, and he just couldn't find the bottom corner, just dragged the shot wide. That would have been a really important cushion for Drogheda to have that second goal. As it stands, they lead by a goal to nil, which is a position they'll certainly take, but they'll be looking to try and put a little bit more daylight between themselves and Wexford as the second half progresses. It's come all the way through to David Odumosu. He bowls it out to Mark Hughes, who once again has come deep looking for possession, plays it across to James Brown, and he plays it back to Hughie Douglas. Douglas just digs it out of his feet, and Luke Heaney got a flick to it. It's come to Chris Lyons. He plays it back towards Mark Hughes, just inside the Drogheda half. Now here's Jake Hyland. Conor Kane comes from, still inside the Drogheda United half, back towards Hyland, about 10 yards outside his own box. Hughes in a similar position just towards the centre of the pitch, and he's just looked left and right, and he plays it over Hughes to Jake Hyland on this near left hand touchline, crosses the halfway line, tries to play ball in behind. Conor Kane wasn't reading it, and it's gone all the way through harmlessly to Tom Murphy in the Wexford goal. And a long ball played up there, and it's knocked back towards Tobin, Dan Tobin, and it's well intercepted by Luke Heaney, and Carl Fitzsimons wasn't happy with that challenge, but Heaney comes away with it, and it's gone out for a throw in to Drogheda United. Just 2 minutes gone in the second half, 1-0 still to Drogheda United, and still 0-0 down at the Carlisle grounds. It's taken away there from Luke Heaney, and it's Wexford on the break here, and it's Kieran Murphy, and his ball towards Yusuf was way overhit, and Yusuf, not for the first time this evening, throws his arms in the air in frustration. It wasn't really that difficult of a pass for Kieran Murphy to play through, but wasn't able to find his man, and it came all the way through to Odumosu. Meanwhile, at the other end, Chris Lyons tried to divert first time ball into the path of Brandon Birmingham, but wasn't able to control it enough, and it's come all the way through back to Tom Murphy, and Wexford start again. Well, they've lost possession halfway inside their own half, and Luke Heaney takes it off, and himself and Chris Lyons both left it for each other. No Wexford player was able to come in and take it away. Knocked through towards Yusuf again. He's got support from Murphy and also from Tobin here, his captain, up on the right hand side pushing forward, but it's cleared by Derek Prendergast, and he lets out a gasp of annoyance as he didn't quite connect with that one the way he would have wished, and it's gone out for a throw in. The ball bouncing along the top of the stand here beside us at United Park, and it's popped back in now, and it's going to be Tobin to take the throw in. Wexford pushing here, looking for an equaliser at the start of the second half. Looked like a push there on Jake Hyland, but referee says play away. It's come back to Crowley again. Plays a good ball over to that far side of the field towards Charlie Smith. He's been a busy presence on that left hand touchline. Comes inside, plays it back to Crowley again. Is he going to have a go? No, he decides to play it back. This time it's Jack Doherty on the edge of the box, and he's a dangerous man to have the ball in that position. Tries a few little tricks to shake off James Brown. Gets his cross in, and it's come back off. Well, it was headed clear by Prendergast. It then hit Hughie Douglas on the back and ricocheted clear, but it's crossed back in by Tobin, but safely into the hands of David Odumosu. A little bit of a frantic moment for Drogheda there, and the players who combined for the opening goal almost combined to put their team in trouble there, Prendergast and Douglas, but they managed to extricate themselves from that position and get the ball away, and now the flag has gone up on this near side of the pitch, offside against Yusuf as the ball was played forward, and it's going to be a free kick to Drogheda United, which will be taken by David Odumosu. It'll be interesting to see how Drogheda approach this second half in terms of personnel changes. We have seen Tim Clancy in games where Drogheda have been leading 1-0, maybe around the 60th minute or 65th minute he may bring on the likes of a Jack Chute for one of the more attacking midfielders to try and provide a little bit more security. Now here's James Brown as Drogheda try and get the second one, but just overran it a little bit there, Brown, and couldn't quite take it in. Knocked it all the way through to Tom Murphy. But yeah, we have seen Tim Clancy in the past making slightly more defensive changes when Drogheda have a lead. So it'll be interesting to see if he does the same here, or if they will feel that there are more goals in it for them. And in sports, especially with the table being so tight, every goal could count. Just one goal on the goal difference column separates Bray and Drogheda. Actually 2 goals now with that 1-0 scoreline here. It was only 1 before the game, but it's now plus 19 for Drogheda, plus 17 for Bray. So every goal really will be crucial, and that may tip the balance in favour of Drogheda keeping on and going for second or possibly a third here if they can. But for the moment, just have to focus on getting the win. Here's Nwanze on the near side. Good pressure being applied by Drogheda. Luke Heaney closing down, and now Brandon Birmingham doing the same. They force it back to Tom Murphy, and now here's Kevin McAvoy, plays it in to Doherty, spins away from Mark Hughes and plays it up to Youssef again. He gives it away, collides with Hughes, but he lost the ball at that stage. The referee rightly says play on. Now here's James Brown, tried to slip it back inside to Brandon Birmingham, just a little bit too hurried from James Brown there. Youssef has picked himself up meanwhile as Chrissy Lyons wins the throw in of Carl Fitzsimons over on the far side of the field. 1-0 to Drogheda United. 6.5 minutes gone in the second half. The referee's now checking on Youssef. It was a clean win of the ball from Mark Hughes, but the two players just collided after the ball was nicked away from Youssef, and I think he may have maybe gotten a shoulder, or thought maybe he got a shoulder into the upper chest or into the chin, but it looks like he's maybe holding his leg, so maybe got a bit of a dead leg there in that collision, but looks to be alright. Now here comes Drogheda again. Chris Lyons controls it. It's Luke Heaney, plays it back and almost slipped it into Jake Hyland, but a good interception there from James Carroll. Read that one well, because if that ball had found Hyland and if Carroll had been taken out of the play, then he would have been in Hyland. Now here's Youssef at the other end, and it's a good challenge from Mark Hughes. It was a good strong tackle from the Drogheda midfielder. Youssef initially had the chance, and then it was Kieran Murphy who was trying to back him up and support him, but Mark Hughes did well. Now it's back with James Carroll again, the man who made that vital interception a minute ago. This time he's had to pass it all the way back to his goalkeeper, and it's knocked long by Tom Murphy towards Tobin, the captain. He just manages to flick it straight up into the air, and it's a good header on by Fitzsimons. Here's Youssef again, back to Fitzsimons again. He's been pressured out of it by Luke Heaney, and Hughie Douglas takes it away from him, and now it's a good ball by Jake Hyland over to the far side. Brandon Birmingham just getting inside the box, gets to the byline, cuts it back, and again, well, the keeper didn't quite hold on to it, and Chris Lyons went in, and in fairness to the goalkeeper, he was straight up and pulled Chris Lyons up off the ground, but the referee has shown a yellow card to Chris Lyons there for what he felt was a bit of a loose boot, but it seemed a little bit harsh, I must say. So there's another yellow card for Drogheda United. Chris Lyons joins Luke Heaney in the book. So 4 bookings now, 2 apiece in this game. That one seemed a little bit harsh. Ball just did look like it spilled momentarily from the keeper's grasp, and Chris Lyons, like any good goal poacher, was trying to get in there, but the referee just felt he overstepped the mark a little bit. Yellow card for the Drogheda striker. Long ball meanwhile played by Wexford as they get the game back underway. It's cleared by Connor Kane. It's come back to Tobin. He plays it inside to Kieran Murphy. He just toes it past Mark Hughes, and it's come to Doherty again. Back to Crowley. Wexford halfway inside the Drogheda United half. Here's Tobin again, just in this right hand channel. Pays it back to Nwanze, and it's into Youssef again. He has Prendergast for company. Prendergast just stood off him there as if to say, what are you going to do? Are you going to take it on or take it past me? And he wasn't able to do it. Now Luke Heaney could be in here with a half chance of a tackle there on the halfway line, and if he was able to get away there, Heaney, it would have been a 2-on-2 situation for Drogheda. Unfortunately, James Carroll did enough, and Wexford keep possession. Knocked long towards Youssef. Prendergast comes through the back of him, and referee gives a free kick. Got the ball, says Prendergast. He just came in over the back of Youssef. You could say he made it back for him, but Prendergast concedes the free kick, and it's going to be taken once again by Jack Doherty. 10 minutes gone, almost 10 minutes gone in the second half. And again, another dangerous position for Drogheda to defend. Everyone forward for Wexford, with the exception of Conor Crowley, who's making his way into the box, and 2 other players, but everyone else into the box. It's come over on that far side of the field towards James Carroll, finding himself in an unfamiliar position on the left-hand touchline. Not able to produce the silky skills of a winger and get his cross in, and it's cleared. But now we have a Drogheda player down. I think it's Derek Prendergast who is on the ground. Maybe just caught a stray boot there as the ball was being cleared. Didn't quite see what happened to him. But the man who got the lead goal for Drogheda just looks to be in a little bit of discomfort, and just hope it's not one of those injuries that players sometimes get when there's nobody near them and they just twist or turn awkwardly. You would almost prefer that he got a kick. But he's just having his, looks like his left knee being looked at by the Drogheda physio, Derek Prendergast. His first goal of the season for Drogheda, and what an important one it could be if it was to guarantee all 3 points here and send Drogheda, as it stands, top of the table on goal difference. Still 0-0, it's worth reminding you, between Bray Wanderers and Galway. That game kicked off at the same time as here, so little to choose between the 2 games in terms of the time elapsed. Maybe a minute or 2, but that's about it. And it's Prendergast there who's just nursing that left knee a little bit, and he's walking over towards the touchline. We are looking at I think it's James Clark who's down on the bench with his bib still on him, but he's lacing up his boots. And Prendergast looks like he's going to come back in, but we'll just have to wait and see if he'll last much longer. He'd be a huge loss to Drogheda, not just today, but also on Tuesday if he wasn't available. And who knows, if Drogheda don't make that top promotion place, then the playoffs as well. So let's just hope he's okay. Prendergast, he's galloping back on there. He looks all right. So let's just wait and see how that goes, because sometimes these injuries can stiffen up and tighten up. So we'll just have to see how he's moving, Prendergast, in the next few minutes or so. Now here come Wexford. Again, they've lost possession inside their own half, and Chris Lyons is away. Well, he looked like he was fouled there from behind by Doherty, but in fairness, I think the Wexford player maybe just did get a toe to the ball first, and Lyons hit the deck afterwards. Doherty comes away with it again, skips away from Jake Hyde, and it looked like a handball from Hughie Douglas. He looked to take it in his chest. The ball just hit the turf and maybe wrong-footed him a little bit, but the referee says play on, and Mark Hughes has possession now. He wins a free kick, much to the frustration of Youssef and Conor Crowley. Wexford will feel they should have had a free kick for handball a few seconds before that, but the referee says go ahead, and it looks like we are going to have that change now. It's going to be James Clark, and Derek Prendergast, I presume, is going to be the player to make way. In fact, it's Chris Lyons, I think it is, who's coming off. I had seen James Clark stripping off as Prendergast was getting treatment, so I thought maybe there was going to be a change in formation, and maybe Mark Hughes would drop back into that centre-back position and Clark will come on in midfield. But in fact, it's Chris Lyons who's gone. James Clark comes in. Clark with just 1 goal this season, but what a goal that was in that game against Bray here, where he flicked it up Gaza style from his right foot onto his left and buried it into the bottom corner. Meanwhile, the free kick taken by Mark Hughes is spooned up into the air by Kevin McAvoy, and Crowley tidies things up for Bray there as or for Wexford rather, as the sun comes out here at United Park for the first time this afternoon. It doesn't make the temperature a whole lot warmer, but certainly it's a welcome sight this time of the year. Now Mark Hughes gets it again in midfield. Here is James Clark, the man just in with his first touch. A little slaloming run towards the edge of the box, played up towards Luke Heaney, but he couldn't take it in sufficiently well to find a man with it, and it's taken away briefly by Carl Fitzsimons, but between Conor Kane and Mark Hughes they win it back, and it's played back to Hughie Douglas. Derek Prendergast looks to be okay. He looks like he's moving alright. Maybe still a little bit gingerly, but not seeing notice, so let's hope he's okay. Now the ball was played on there by Luke Heaney on that far touchline and comes all the way back through towards Tom Murphy. We have a quarter of an hour gone in the second half. Drogheda United 1, Wexford nil. Derek Prendergast's 19th minute goal rather in the first half, giving the home side a valuable 1-0 lead. And again, just to repeat it, if it was to stay like this, and if Wexford were not to get back into this game, if Drogheda were to win and if Bray were to be held, then Drogheda would be top of the table on goal difference with just one game remaining in the First Division regular season. Of course, the playoffs will come after that for the teams who finished 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th. Slightly extended playoff scenario this season. Free kick to be taken by Jake Hyland over on the far side in front of the dugouts. Whips it in towards the penalty spot and it's gone over everybody, including the goalkeeper. Tom Murphy got under that one. We mentioned the wind in the first half, which carried a lot of Murphy's kicks straight out down the other end of the field, and it looked like he maybe misread that one a little bit. He came sprinting out to claim it and then got under the ball, and if that had been on target from Hyland, he was out around the halfway line when he took the free kick, of course, but if he'd been placing it between the sticks, it would have found its way into the corner. So a lucky escape there maybe for Wexford, and it would have been a rather unfortunate goal to concede, but we've seen spectacular efforts at this ground from distance in very recent times, of course. Tonner Dogan's goal for Athlone, the last home game that Drogheda had, from just inside the Drogheda half. And that was one that caught David Olamosu out, and Tom Murphy was almost caught out by that free kick from Jake Hyland. However, it stays at 1-0 to Drogheda United with just over a quarter of an hour gone in the second half. Here's Hughie Douglas. James Brown, a lovely little flick there from Brandon Birmingham, puts Luke Heaney in. He gets his cross in and it's overhit a little bit, just not able to find anybody, and safely into the hands of Tom Murphy. But once again, good build-up play from Drogheda, but just not able to find that final ball that's going to open up a defence and create a clear-cut opportunity. They're doing so much right, but at times that last ball, that last pass just lets them down. And here's Jack Doherty skipping away through the midfield, and that's going to be a yellow card for James Clark, I would say. Was just trying to get back and caught Doherty, and while he's getting a couple of pats in the back there, I think that was one he was taken for the team. No malice in it, just decided he needed to take the man down, I suspect. A yellow card indeed for James Clark. With 17 minutes gone, 62 in the game. And it's going to be a free kick, which Doherty himself is standing over the man who was fouled, and Conor Crowley. David Olamosu is down in his haunches at his right hand post, lining up his wall. And we have a 3-man wall. We've got 4-man wall rather. We've got James Clark, Mark Doyle, Jake Hyland, and Luke Heaney. Just inside the D, the wall is. So the free kick about 10 yards further out than that, and it's going to be Doherty to take it. No one else is looking at it. He's going to come up and have a crack, Doherty. He's a dangerous striker of the ball, but this time it's safely over the bar from a Drogheda perspective. No threat whatsoever in that one. And David Olamosu will put the ball down. We'll be in no hurry. 1-0 to Drogheda United with 18 minutes gone in the second half. Derek Prendergast looks to be fully recovered now, happily from a Drogheda point of view, and he's rallying the troops there. He doesn't wear the captain's armband, of course, Prendergast, but he is a real leader in this Drogheda team, and certainly the man who keeps that defence in shape. Now here's James Brown making a great run down that right hand side. His pass in towards Brandon Birmingham was intercepted, and Mark Hughes gets up for it, but the ball hung in the air for quite a while, and Hughes was only able to skew it back towards Hughie Douglas, but the referee sees a foul on the centre back and gives a free kick to Drogheda United just inside the Wexford half. Jake Hyland once again will take it, and once again Derek Prendergast goes forward. Hughie Douglas, Mark Doyle, Brandon Birmingham all on the edge of the box, and Hyland's free kick from just inside the Wexford half. Again he bends it in, and Doyle gets his head to it almost, but not quite. Again, was a ball in, was landing just around the penalty spot, and Doyle just tried to get a little flick on it, but he couldn't quite jump enough to make a contact, and it came safely through to Tom Murphy in the Wexford goal, and the pass across the pitch there from Crowley has gone out for a throw in on the far side of the field. James Brown will take it. There's a bit of a chill in the air here, as you would expect for the back end of October, but as I say, the sun is out, and Drogheda United, at the moment anyway, things looking fairly bright for them. 1-0 lead here, and 0-0 still at the Carlisle grounds. And we just mentioned a little bit earlier in commentary, but those games against particularly Athlone here and Cove here will be the ones that Tim Clancy will surely look back on if Drogheda just don't quite manage to make that automatic promotion spot. But as it stands, they're top of the table. Now here come Wexford in their own back corner of the pitch, trying to get it out of there, and well, they've won themselves a goal kick, but they're slightly fortunate there. I think it was Charlie Smith who had backed himself into a corner right down beside the corner flag, and Luke Heaney closed them down, and it went out for a goal kick to Wexford. Now they're going to make a change of their own, and it's going to be Kieran Murphy who goes off, and on in his place will come, I think it's Patrick O'Sullivan. Again, I did mention the sunshine, it's great to see it, but it doesn't make it too easy to see the fourth officials board. But I think it is Patrick O'Sullivan who's come on. He started the game against Cove, was dropped for this one, but he's in now. It is indeed Patrick O'Sullivan, number 14 on his back. And a slight looking figure standing next to Derek Prendergast, but then a lot of people look slight standing next to Derek Prendergast. It's going to be a goal kick for Wexford, and it's hung up in the air again. The wind really showing its strength there. Murphy's kick just hung in the air, and Wexford have managed to get it forward, and it's come back to Doherty, takes it away from James Brown, but again Hughie Douglas steps in, boots it straight up into the air pretty much, but manages to drop just in front of James Clark. He gets it back to Heaney, and again Clark gets away brilliantly there from Charlie Smith, and referee says play on. He looked like he was fouled as Heaney gets the cross into the back post, and Mark Doyle was coming in, couldn't quite get to it enough to get it onto the target. It was just, in fairness to him, it would have been a hell of an effort if he was able to wrap his foot around that and get it back onto the target, because it was a tight angle. He was stretching for it at the back post. But again, promising play down the right hand side from Drogheda United, just can't get that final ball to work for them yet, but they'll be hoping they'll come good between now and the end of the game. And a clash of heads there between Conor Kane and Dan Tobin. The referee comes over. Are you alright? He says to Conor Kane, asking both players if they want attention. No, they're saying they're okay. So the referee happy that both players are okay to continue. And I suppose, as I said, one of the advantages of not having crowds in is that you can hear a lot of what's being said by the players and the referees, so it's actually refreshing to hear sometimes. Maybe not so much at others, but free kick is taken by Wexford, but it was, James Carroll's ball was over towards Carl Fitzsimons, but it wasn't a great pass, and it eluded Fitzsimons, and it's gone out for a throw in, which James Brown will take over in front of the clubhouse. Flicked on by Luke Heaney, and it's Brandon Birmingham was trying to chase it down, but he was just muscled out of it, and the ball is cleared out onto the Windmill Road there over everybody, and spare ball will have to be found, and indeed we have one. And it's still 0-0 at the Carlisle grounds, so Galway doing Drogheda a big favour here as it stands. And another ball, well, this one's gone into the tree on the far side of the pitch, and I don't think we'll be getting that one back, so we might be running low on footballs the way things are going here. And it's going to be James Brown to take it. Throw in into James Clark. He hooks it on towards Brandon Birmingham, the edge of the box. He plays a lovely little ball to Luke Heaney, and Heaney's attempted cross is blocked by Charlie Smith. And again, it's going to be a corner to Drogheda United. And it's going to be Jake Hyland to make his way across there, taking it left-footed, of course, and he'll look to swing this one in. All the Drogheda players, substitutes I should say, are out warming up, and a few of the supporters' banners up over there as well. Good to see them. And it's Hughie Douglas with the header from the corner in a massive bodies, and it came safely through to Tom Murphy. Yusuf makes the run, screaming for it, Yusuf, but the pass hasn't come, and Murphy bowls it out to Kevin McAvoy, and it's gone back via Doherty to McAvoy to Murphy, and again it's back to McAvoy again as Wexford just look to pick their way out of their own half, and the ball played down the line by McAvoy, and it's gone out. Well, just a little bit overhit. It was in the direction of Patrick O'Sullivan, but It's gone out for throw in to Drogheda. Taken by James Brown. Looked like it maybe slipped out of his hands a little bit there as he released it, but comes back to a Wexford player. Up to Yusuf now. He's got Hughie Douglas for company. And the referee says play on. Yusuf hit the ground, but there was no foul, the referee says. And it's going to be a throw into Drogheda United with 24, almost 25 minutes gone in the second half at United Park. 1-0 to Drogheda United and 0-0 between Bray and Galway at the Carlisle grounds. So once again, as I said a little bit earlier, it's worth reminding you that Drogheda will be top of the table as it stands at the moment. They'll be top on goal difference only. They'll both be on 36 points themselves and Bray, but Drogheda would have a 2-goal superior goal difference. So certainly lots to play for here in the last 20 minutes or so of the game, both here and at the Carlisle grounds. A throw in on the far side of the field, which James Brown will take. And quick hello to all of our listeners, both local and international, listening in. A lot of Drogheda fans scattered around the world, I'm sure will be listening in keenly on this one. And it's going to be a long ball cleared up, and Derek Prendergast is having to test out that knee injury, and he stoops to head it back to David Odumosu. And Prendergast, it didn't look like he was moving too comfortably there, but I think it was perhaps the fact that he had somebody breathing down his neck, and he just wanted to get that ball back to Odumosu as quickly as he could, threw himself at it, headed it back, and Drogheda start again. A long ball towards Brandon Birmingham by Hughie Douglas, and again, maybe the wind just caught it a little bit. It went all the way out for a goal kick. You're with David Sheehan on LMFM on this sunny Saturday afternoon. It's certainly sunny at the moment anyway, although the sky does look a little bit ominous. We'll make the best of the sunshine while we can. It's going to be a goal kick to Wexford. 26.5 minutes gone in the second half. No sign of activity over on the Drogheda United bench. Just that one substitution so far. James Clark coming on for possibly a weary Chris Lyons. And throw in over on the near side here in front of our gantry position. It's up to O'Sullivan, and he's got Prendergast at his back. Prendergast gets his boot to it, comes back to James Clark. Again, very hard man to dispossess, James Clark, and he wins the free kick from Carl Fitzsimons. Fitzsimons was just a little bit over eager there, trying to win the ball back, and James Clark, with no fuss or fanfare, picks himself up off the ground and makes his way in towards the penalty box. And Jake Hyland comes over once again to take the free kick. We have everybody up for Drogheda with the exception of Conor Kane, James Brown and Mark Hughes. We've got Hughie Douglas at the back post once again, and this time it's a low one in towards the near post, and James Clark has a go. Well, that would have been a spectacular effort. It just was a miss-hit really from Jake Hyland's free kick, and Clark just stuck his leg out. It popped up in front of him after his first touch, and he did a little overhead kick, but it didn't pose any threat. It was well wide of Tom Murphy's goal. And the Wexford keeper will attempt another kick out. He might try and get this one across the halfway line. The last couple of kicks have really just hung in the air. This one a little bit better. Derek Prendergast gets up with James Clark, gets his head to it. It's knocked long through the middle by Tobin. Hughie Douglas gets his head on this one, and it's come back to O'Sullivan, the substitute. Knocks it down towards Yusuf down the line. Prendergast comes across, and he turns away well from Yusuf and plays a lovely ball down the line to Mark Doyle. He one times it back to Jake Hyland, but his pass to James Clark was a little bit loose, and Wexford have won it back. Tobin gets his ball into the box, and it's David Odumosu with all the time in the world to claim that one, and Drogheda survived that little mini spell of pressure from Wexford. Just approaching the half-hour mark at United Park. Drogheda still lead by a goal to nil, and a long ball from Odumosu over towards Mark Doyle on this left-hand touchline, headed clear by Jay Nwanze. He settled into the game well, Nwanze, after picking up that early booking. And the throw-in is going to be taken by Conor Kane. He scored his first ever goal for the club, as I said, the other night against Galway, and what a goal it was. And it's Brandon Birmingham getting the shot away there, but it was well blocked and hooked back in there by James Clark, but Nwanze gets it clear, and Conor Kane takes it down on the halfway line, turns, plays it back to Derek Prendergast. Mark Hughes takes the ball up in halfway inside his own half and plays a lovely ball over towards James Brown on the far side of the pitch. He's got Luke Heaney making a run from, plays it back in to Mark Hughes again, and it's back with Heaney inside to Mark Doyle. Centre of the pitch now with James Clark about 15 yards outside the Wexford box. Now they've worked it over to that right hand side. Cross comes in from Luke Heaney. They've plenty of bodies forward. Mark Doyle is there again. Looked like he might have been taken out. The referee says no. He went for the header and the challenge came in. I think it might have been from James Carroll. He hit the deck, Doyle, but he was looking to the referee for a possible penalty. The referee says no chance, goal kick. And really, regardless of the challenge from the defender, it looked like Doyle should have got his head on that one. Difficult to see from this position, of course, but it did look like a good opportunity. And again, another half chance goes a begging for Drogheda. We really hope they won't live to regret that when the final whistle goes. Conor Kane gets his head to that ball, but it's come back towards Tobin, plays it inside to Fitzsimons. Crowley rolls it back to McAvoy, plays it across here to James Carroll. Looking for a bit of support, knocks the ball down the line towards Tobin again. He tries to flick it on but doesn't make any connection with it, and Conor Kane is able to clear it. But all he's done is knocked it straight up towards Carroll again. And now here's Kevin McAvoy again over on the far side, and they've given it away again. Misunderstanding there. Now Jake Hyland is bearing down in goal. He's got Brandon Birmingham to his left, he's got Heaney to his right. Heaney's cross again, and I can see Tim Clancy over on the far side of the field with his head in his hands. It was a really good opportunity again for Drogheda, but the ball in, the cross was just too close to the goalkeeper, and Tom Murphy gratefully gathered it. Now here come Wexford at the other end. Little 1-2 between Youssef and Doherty. Doherty's being closed down by Luke Heaney and James Brown. They've worked it back towards the middle of the pitch, and it's Youssef again. That's a little bit of a heavy challenge from Youssef and Luke Heaney. He'll get a booking for that. And is it a red? Is that a? Couldn't quite see with the sunshine on the referee's card, but from the reaction of the player, maybe it's from the reaction of Youssef for a moment. I think it is just a yellow card, but the way Youssef reacted, I thought for a moment it was possibly a red, and it was quite difficult to see with the sunshine and the angle that the referee was holding the card at, that it was a yellow. But just for a split second there, Youssef let a roar out of him after the card was shown, and I really thought for a minute he'd been booked or he'd been sent off, but it is just a yellow, so he's okay. And Drogheda still lead by a goal to nil, and Bray are still being held 0-0 at the Carlisle grounds. All the Drogheda substitutes still out warming up, and they have options on the bench, the likes of Adam Wixted, Richie O'Farrell, Frank Cabrelli, Ryan O'Shea, and then they have Jack Shute from a more defensive position as well. So Tim Clancy does have options if he chooses to make some alterations, and of course next game coming very quickly on Tuesday night as well, so he may choose to give a couple of players a rest. He's certainly calling back somebody now. It looks like he was calling back one of the Drogheda players. We'll keep an eye on that situation as the second half progresses, but long kick from Odamosu. Mark Doyle was only able to flick it on. We've got about 12 minutes to go in the second half, plus whatever the referee adds on. As it stands, Drogheda will be top of the table with one game to go. Now here's a real opportunity. Mark Doyle, played in by Jake Hyland, gets past his man on the edge of the box, gets the shot away, finishes into the net. 2-0 Drogheda. That should be it now, and Wexford have just given up one too many chances. Under no pressure, gave the ball away. Jake Hyland. (2-0) to Drogheda. That should be it. Let's lift it, says Aziz Youssef to his teammates, but that should be the game now for Drogheda. And if Wexford, or if Bray I should say, can not find a winner down at the Carlisle grounds, then Drogheda will be top in about 10-12 minutes time or so. 2-0 Mark Doyle, yet another goal for him this season. He's by far and away the top scorer. 13 goals now in the league for him, and Drogheda they had a lot of half chances, but they just weren't putting them away. And then finally, Wexford's looseness in defence came back to bite them. They got away with one in the first half when Conor Crowley gave the ball away, and Chris Lyons really should have made it 2-0, but Mark Doyle has finally put them to the sword. Looked like a handball there for a moment, but Crowley he's given it away in midfield. Now here comes James Clark. He's got Brandon Birmingham through the middle for him. Now here's Conor Kane on the left-hand channel, and he's played a great ball across to Lucchini. He's in and he's onside. His first touch was just a little bit heavy, and it was well cut out by Kevin McAvoy, who made a vital interception. But if Heaney could have taken that in first time and got a shot away, he really would have had a golden opportunity to make it 3. First touch was just a little bit heavy, and that was all Kevin McAvoy needed to nip in and get a block on it. So with just 10 minutes now of normal time to go, 2-0 to Drogheda United at United Park, and still 0-0. As I said, probably sick of hearing the score at the Carlisle grounds, but it is so important for Drogheda's automatic promotion chances that Bray don't score a late winner. Throw in on the far side of the field, which James Brown will take. He's got a bit of support there in the shape of Lucchini. Back to Brown again. He tries to play it into James Clark, but it's intercepted. A lovely bit of play there from Carl Fitzsimons. And it's played back again, once again towards Charlie Smith, and it's played all the way back to the keeper again, but he's given it straight to James Clark. What Drogheda wouldn't give for another goal here, just to make this absolutely safe. Brandon Birmingham has a chance. He's put it over the bar. And really, I'm losing count of the amount of chances that Drogheda have had. They've had, aside from the half chances, they've had at least 2, probably 3. The 2 Chris Lyons chances and that one there from Brandon Birmingham. 3 absolutely gilt-edged opportunities that they should be finishing. And then all the other, as I said, half chances where the last final ball just wasn't quite good enough. But they look like they're going to get away with it today because they lead by 2-0. There have been other occasions in the season where that profligacy has cost them, but today it looks like they'll be okay. Headed through by Derek Prendergast from Murphy's kick out, and it's gone all the way out. And Drogheda will just be looking to hold what they have for the last 6-7 minutes or so, and they're going to make another change. It's going to be Adam Wickstead to come on, and it's going to be Luke Heaney who comes off. Heaney's put in a good shift down that right hand side in this game, and has been one of those players who's created quite a few half chances for his teammates, but they just haven't been able to put them away. So Wickstead on with 37.5 minutes gone in the second half. Drogheda United leading Wexford by 2-0. Derek Prendergast with a header in the first half, and Mark Doyle a few moments ago making it 2-0. It's going to be a throw into Wexford on this right hand side. So Sullivan that has it. He has a bit of help there from Tobin, but not able to find him. So just about 7 minutes of normal time to go, and Wexford now are going to make another change. And let's wait and see who this is going to be. And it's Aziz Youssef who's going off. And we just wait and see who's coming on again. It's difficult to see the fourth officials board with the sunshine on it over there. But another change for Wexford anyway. So Aziz Youssef has gone off. He's worked hard, Youssef, but just couldn't quite get himself into it. It's Malak B. Hill that's come in actually. Number 20 on his back. A long kick from Odamosu. Mark Hughes picks up the second ball and knocks it straight through the middle. Wickstead is chasing this one, but it's run all the way through to Murphy. Now Wickstead again, very eager. He's just a little bit too keen there though. Gives away the free kick for the foul on Charlie Smith. And of course Wickstead is Adam Wickstead missed so much football in the last couple of years through injury, so he really is chomping at the bit every time he comes on to make an impact. And it's going to be Tom Murphy who plays it out to James Carroll. ticking towards the last 5 minutes of normal time. Drogheda leading by 2-0. Derek Prendergast on 19 minutes and Mark Doyle on 79 have Drogheda in a very good position here at United Park. Adam Wickstead has possession, holds on to it, looks for a bit of support, gets it in the shape of Mark Hughes. 1-2 with Hughes, back to Hughie Douglas, plays it across to Derek Prendergast and back to Odamosu, and Drogheda will be very content to just keep the ball for as much time as they can in these closing moments of the game. 5 minutes of normal time to go. Bray still looking for the breakthrough at the Carlisle grounds. Odamosu has it, knocks a long one in the direction of Brandon Birmingham, and James Brown steaming up on the right hand side again. Highland has it now on the halfway line. His attempted pass was blocked by Doherty, and Doherty just shoving Hughie Douglas out of his way there, a little bit frustrated. Mark Hughes has it again, gets it from his keeper, knocks a long diagonal ball towards Mark Doyle. The flag, yeah, did go up. I was expecting him to put it up the linesman, but he just waited until the ball had come through to Doyle, as is the way of the officials these days. And Doyle, with that second goal though, he can be very happy with his evening's work. Now here's James Brown, plays it into Brandon Birmingham. It's taken away from him by Kevin McAvoy, and McAvoy himself strides forward with the ball now, but he's given it straight to Jake Hyland. There have been so many sloppy passes from both sides, but particularly from Wexford in this game. They've won it back though, and James Carroll takes no time at all about it, just boots it long, and it's come up towards Brandon Birmingham, and that's a very slightly heavy challenge from Kevin McAvoy, but I think Birmingham maybe was just jumping out of the way of what he expected to be a kick, and it may have looked worse than it was. Referee happy to take no action on that one, and it's going to be Jake Hyland to take the free kick halfway inside the Wexford half, and about 15 yards in from the touchline. Tim Clancy giving him some instructions. Hyland again, good set piece taker over to the back post, and again it was Hughie Douglas trying to get his head to it. It was just a little bit overhit for the big centre back, and he picks himself up and gallops back towards his centre half position. Don't let him play comes the shout from Derek Prendergast as Wexford try and play it out from the back. And James Clark taking Prendergast's word literally, blocking down the attempted clearance from James Carroll, and it's gone out for a goal kick, I believe. The ball has gone AWOL. And again, we're just waiting for the ball to come back in. Nobody seems in a major hurry to get it back onto the pitch. Here we have it now. And it's going to be Murphy with the kick. 42, almost 43 minutes gone in the second half. And if there's going to be a late winner down at the Carlisle grounds, well, they're going to have to be making it quick, because it's still 0-0 there. And as I said, Drogheda will go top if things stay as they are. What a heartbreaker it will be for them now if Bray were to score a winner. But there's nothing they can do about that. They can only take care of their own business, and they're doing that today. Free kick over on the far side of the field, foul on James Brown. And referee is making his way over there. Is he going to show a yellow card to Doherty? No, he's just happy to have a quick word. Doherty was involved in that incident with Mark Hughes in the first half, of course, where the referee just told them both to cool it down a little bit. So he's had a good game. Owen O'Shea has taken action when needed, but hasn't been overly fussy or officious. Now it's going to be free kick again. It's Jake Hyland to take it. He's just in line with the edge of the box over on that far touch line. And he's going to whip this one in left footed again. That win could cause havoc in the Wexford defence, but that's a really poor free kick from Hyland, overhit and harmlessly out for a goal kick. Really, he should be doing much better than that from those positions, you would think. But it shouldn't matter too much in the final analysis here, because it's 2-0 to Drogheda. We have just under a minute of normal time to go. And again, like we had in the first half, I can't imagine we'll have too much time added on. There haven't been too many long stoppages, and the board is just about to go up over on the far side. Fourth official, Rob Dowling. is the man with the time in his hands. We'll just wait and see what goes up. The referee gives a free kick to Wexford. But it's a lost cause for them, really, and it's been a forgettable season in so many ways. Things were bad enough for them before that ineligible player caused them to have those 4 results bounced into 3-0 defeats. As I said, they had lost 2 of those games anyway, one of which was a 4-0 loss actually, so they gained a goal in that one, but certainly lost the 4 points that they'd gained from those 4 games. And I think we may well hear a little bit more about that as a chance for Nwanze. And as I said, yeah, Wexford may well appeal that decision, but really and truly it's not going to make a massive difference to their season. They're going to be bottom of the table regardless. And we have ticked into added time. And all over bar the shouting here, and we are into the last couple of minutes between Bray and Galway. Still 0-0 there. And a shin pad from Conor Crowley was on the pitch. Huey Douglas generously throws it back to him, and David Onomusa will take the goal kick. Can't imagine there'll be much time left in this one. It's flicked on by James Clark. And Drogheda United, they will go to Stradbrook on Tuesday with a real chance of automatic promotion. They've been so close in recent seasons. Heartbreak in the playoffs. And it's really automatic promotion they want, because the playoffs is such a difficult setup, particularly for the team that comes second, where they've narrowly missed out on automatic promotion and they have to try and pick themselves up for another go at it. Whereas if you maybe come in 5th, or you scrape into 5th place or 4th place and you get a shot at the playoffs, then that's a bit of a bonus for you. But if you're the 2nd place team, as Drake Highland has a shot here over the bar, if you're the 2nd place team that's just missed out on promotion automatically, then psychological impact of that and trying to get yourself going again must be a little bit difficult. And I'm sure Drogheda, aside from anything else, are sick of the sight of the playoffs. They really just want to get out of this division automatically and not have to put themselves through that extra bit of torture. And it looks like they will go into that final day of the season, and I hate to say it before we hear full time at the Carlisle grounds. It is full time here at United Park. A 2-0 win for Drogheda United. Derek Prendergast with the goal from a close range header in the first half made it 1-0, and then a lot of wasted opportunities for the rest of that first half, and then some in the second half as well for Drogheda, before they finally put the game to bed with a second goal from Mark Doyle on 79 minutes. So that's it from United Park. 2-0 to Drogheda United, the final score. It's still 0-0 between Bray Wanderers and Galway United. Again, another reminder that if that stays scoreless, and there's only a couple of minutes to go there, Drogheda will be top of the table on goal difference going into the final day of the season. It's Drogheda travelling to Stradbrook on Tuesday, a game you'll be able to hear on LMFM, to take on Cabinteely, whereas Bray go to Athlone. So all to play for here ahead of the final day of the season in the SSE Airtricity League First Division. Final score from United Park: Drogheda United 2, Wexford 0.
Great to be back. 3 points tonight, and then a win in Bray on Friday night, and then we'll be on top of the table and they'll be chasing us.
Yeah, it's great to be back here at United Park again, just to see some live football.
You can't beat live football.
And I just can't wait for the game to start.
It's 29 weeks as a set up there.
Fantastic to see supporters back in United Park. We're obviously a bit limited in how many we can have here tonight, but just to have some of our loyal fans back enjoying the atmosphere and enjoying live football, which should be
About time to be back.
Here we go to Super Drogs.
It's a great opportunity for the supporters, and I think it's great.
It's great to be back here in United Park and to the live football.
It's an indication of how dangerous Rovers can be when they play those little through balls between the Drogheda centre backs. Get it on target. There's no telling where this could go off the surface, and he's had a crack and it's straight at the keeper with a great stroke. That comes Doyle. Buries it, same place as the first